What's up, Internet? Welcome to Once Over. I'm Kaylee, and today we're going to be giving the once over to The Hunt for the Wilderpeople.
Yeah, and I'll never stop chasing you. I'm relentless. I'm like the Terminator.
I'm more like Terminator than you.
I said it first. You're more like Sarah Connor.
No, I'm not.
Yes, in the first movie too, before she could do chin-ups.
There will be spoilers. The Hunt for the Wilderpeople came out in 2016 and was directed by Taika Waititi, who had already released bangers like Eagle vs. Shark, Boy, and of course the absolutely amazing What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh no, I wouldn't eat that. Why?
The extra tipped.
It is the tale of Ricky Baker, played by Julian Dennison, who has been moved from foster home to foster home, and his eventual placement in the loving environment of Bella, played by Rima Tiwiata, and her less doting husband, Hector, played by Sam Neill. The film received widespread critical acclaim for its heartwarming story, humor, and strong performances. The first chapter of the film, called A Real Bad Egg, introduces us to Ricky.
Apparently he's a bit of a handful, real bad egg. I mean, if you look in his file, you'll see that for yourself. We're talking disobedience, stealing, spitting, running away, throwing rocks, kicking stuff, defacing stuff, burning stuff, loitering, and graffitiing. And that's just the stuff we know about.
As well as Paula, who is a state services agent who is in charge of Ricky while he is in between foster homes. Paula clearly doesn't like Ricky or really her job, even though she takes it very seriously, and he clearly does not like being shuffled around. One of the film's strengths is its humor, characterized by YTT's signature style. Soon after being left in his rural foster home with his new foster mom, Bella, he realizes that she is loving and caring and probably very unlike the other foster placements that he's been in. Despite calling him fat several times, she sets him up with everything that he needs, which includes a hottie or a hot water bottle to keep him warm at night, which I think is really sweet. Unlike Bella, her husband, Hector, or Heck, is a little bit more gruff and distant. He asks Ricky,
"You ever worked on a farm before? You're just ornamental."
Ricky, still not wanting to be a part of this family, but also not wanting to go back to the state, runs away every night. But every morning, the motherly Bella draws him back in without scolding him, which really makes it feel like for the first time he can be free, which is probably the reason that he's willing to come back. Ricky becomes more and more comfortable with this new life and excited to have Bella in. This introduction also gives us the absolutely amazing Ricky Baker Happy Birthday song, which is one of my favorites. It gets stuck in my head all the dang time.
Ricky Baker, now you are 13 years old. You are a teenager and you're as good as gold. Ricky Baker.
Interesting fact, the song was actually written specifically because the producers did not have the rights to use Happy Birthday. However, in September of 2015, which would have been after the filming but before the release of this movie, it was actually determined that there was no copyright on that song. So effectively it became use of public domain and they could have actually used it. I'm really glad that they didn't though, because again, Ricky Baker, Happy Birthday, fucking primo songwriting. Just as Ricky is becoming more settled with his new foster family, Bella dies, leaving Heck and Ricky to fumble through life together. And during the funeral scene for Bella, we actually get a cameo from the director YTT himself. The second chapter of the film, Another Door, reveals that the child welfare jerks are going to take Ricky back since, in their opinion, no household is complete without a matriarch. So Ricky decides to run away into the bush for good with his new dog, Tupac, who he got as a birthday present. He leaves Heck and the farm behind, trying to throw others off the scent that he ran away.
This ain't no child foster kid.
Of course, shortly after, in Chapter 3, knowing that he has run away, Heck, along with Heck's dog, Zag, go and find Ricky in the wilderness. The dialogue during these sequences is witty, and the situational comedy arises from the odd pairing of the rebellious Ricky and the gruff, reluctant guardian Heck. Their banter results in Heck breaking his foot after Ricky mocks him for not being able to read.
Only people who can't read say things like that.
But during the Broken Foot Camp chapter, the two begin to bond, specifically about missing Bella, who took care of both of them. As the two talk over the fire, we start to realize that this is really a coming-of-age story, but in a totally different way than we're used to seeing those. This is because we get to see both growth from Ricky as he blossoms into manhood, and also we get to see the transition from the elder, Heck, as he becomes more able to do things that even boys should be able to do. For example, read or show emotions. I don't think that there's any comparison to traditional coming-of-age stories like Stand By Me, but it does have some similar elements. And Hunt for the Wilderpeople does have a shocking resemblance to another movie, Disney Pixar's Up, which came out in 2009. Both are about a grumpy old dude and an overweight child who get lost in the wilderness after the wife dies.
Bake 'em away, toys.
Unlike Up, when Child Services realizes Ricky is missing, they immediately assume that Heck has kidnapped him and is abusing him. A manhunt ensues, and while stopped in a lodge, the now wanted Ricky and Heck are interrupted by a group who tries to capture them. Ricky uses some language that either unintentionally or maybe intentionally makes the group believe that Heck has definitely kidnapped him and is definitely abusing him.
Because he made me do stuff. It was hard at first because my hands are so soft. I didn't really want to do it, but it was the only way to survive. Well, it wasn't always hard. Sometimes I got to do my own thing. He pretty much never joined in with me, though. I asked if he wanted to play with me, but he would just make me play with myself.
But eventually, Ricky and Heck work together to escape the grasp of the group. Truly, beneath its comedic surface, Hunt for the Wilderpeople tells a heartwarming story about the importance of human connection, family, and finding one's place in the world.
Shit, just got real!
Ricky, Heck, and their two dogs adventure more into the bush, but eventually stop at another ranger station for more supplies. You would think that they would have learned their lesson at the first stop, but I mean, they need stuff because honestly, this whole portion of the story is taking place over a very long period of time. But I think it's safe to assume that this stop is going to go just as poorly. They discover a dying park ranger, and Ricky goes on a solo quest to try to save him, while Heck stays behind to watch him. During this adventure, Ricky meets a young girl and her overzealous father.
Fuck. I hate to ask you this, Ricky, but I'll kick myself if I don't. Can I have a selfie, please?
The family clearly knows who Ricky Baker is, but they don't seem to care about the fact that he is wanted. Wanted in the bad way, as in by the law, not like, we love Ricky Baker, because we do.
I captured Ricky Baker. Yeah, you captured me too. You captured me.
So instead of trying to capture him, they actually help him. But when he returns to the ranger station, Heck has already left because the authorities have showed up. The renegade outlaws are now separated, but the court of public opinion has changed, and now people see them as folk heroes, so people are all rooting for Heck and Ricky at this point. But no matter what the public opinion is of them, Paula from Child Services keeps hunting, and the bounty for their capture keeps getting higher and higher. While separated, Paula locates Ricky and tries to bribe him by turning in Heck. But Ricky isn't interested.
No deal.
Oh, come on, Sarah Connor, don't be a fool.
You don't trade family for anything.
Which brings back the theme of family and the genuine soul and love that Ricky, once abandoned himself by his parents, actually has. Ricky and Tupac eventually reunite with Heck and Zag, which leads to one of the most heart-wrenching, and there are many, scenes in this movie. This is the scene where a boar attacks them and Zag, Heck's dog, doesn't make it. If I take myself out of the moment and examine the scene, I can actually look at how amazing the boar looks. It was created using a mix of CGI and two people in a costume with the front and rear legs kind of, you know, hopping around. And it's a really, really beautiful scene, no matter how difficult it is to watch. There are many times that I cry during this film, but this is one where I both cannot look away and don't want to see it. The result of Zag's death is that Heck now has nobody, and he's still a little bit wary of Ricky even if he's starting to come around, but he no longer has his wife, he no longer has his closest companion, his dog. He is feeling extremely lonely in this moment, and it's tragic. Ricky is now his only companion, and really it's a forced companionship. Ricky helps build a makeshift headstone for Zag and reveals that he has been carrying Bella's ashes with him throughout their journey so that they could lay her to rest by a beautiful waterfall close to the sky. The seasons change, reminding us how long the two have been on the run. The changing of the seasons is a symbolic device which is absolutely showing not only the passage of time but also the transformation of these two individually and together. Heck shares with Ricky that he was unable to give Bella kids, which is probably why Bella was so warm to Ricky in the first place. They journey on and meet a bushman who calls himself Psycho Sam.
Push! Man! Bushman!
Psycho Sam helps them and eventually gives them a car, which they drive into war as the authorities close in on them and eventually catch them. The epilogue has Ricky visiting Heck in an outpatient rehab sort of facility, and Ricky reveals that he is now living with the family that helped him when he was on his solo journey. Ricky also very much makes it clear that he misses being an outlaw with Heck.
Me and this fat kid, we ran, we ate, and read books, and it was the best.
Ultimately, Heck decides to follow Ricky on another adventure. This is an emotionally resonant film that successfully combines humor with genuine heart. It's a unique adventure that appeals to pretty much everyone. I think that I could have enjoyed this as a child, as an adult, as a man, as a woman, as anything. Absolutely anything, no matter what stage you are in your life, this is a movie that will make you feel things and also make you laugh. It is absolutely a very unique adventure, which really showcases Taika Waititi's storytelling prowess. I absolutely love the settings of this film, the storyline of this film, and the characters. The actors are all outstanding, and you really become close with every single person in this film. I feel like I can almost compartmentalize myself into each one of the characters, which I think really shows how deeply developed they are. So with all that being said, I would give this movie a 6 out of 7 thumbs up. I love it. I think it's hilarious. I'm a huge YTT fan. I think he's just, he has like this unique, incredible, inherent ability to make me laugh when I should be crying, and probably vice versa. So yeah, I absolutely love this movie. Tell me what you think about it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I can't wait for the next one.
I'm not a molester.